Hi, I'm Jamie Hancock here with All Israel News. We're here at the Israel and the Foreign Media in the October 7th War special media event here at the Friends of Zion Museum in Jerusalem, Israel. Tonight we're going to be hearing two special panels. One of those is going to be related to fake news and the influence of media on the coverage of the war. And then later, our very own editor-in-chief, Joel Rosenberg, will be leading a special panel discussion with families of the hostages. It's going to be a very powerful evening. We're really looking forward to that, and we'll be covering it here for you.
Every night, every day, 24/7, since the beginning of the war, even when I close my eyes, for minutes or hours, I see in front of my eyes 136 faces. We have started with many more, but thanks to our efforts, effective efforts, and help and assistance of good people, we brought back to Israel 121 of our hostages. Unfortunately, 11 of them came back, not alive, back to grave of Israel. But 110 came back alive, and I want to bring all the hostages back to Israel, safe and sound.
Throughout the war, my unit, our unit, the IDF spokesman unit, has been operating to communicate the facts to the world around the clock. We have focused on broadcasting visuals. There's nothing better than visuals of what our soldiers found on the ground in Gaza. Tunnel shafts in school playgrounds, weapons under children's beds, and even now, as what you're seeing now in the news, exploitation of United Nations compounds. You're all reading about UNRWA, I assume. And again, we have to take the journalists to show inside Gaza, and it's a challenge because everybody wants to go and see it. A lot of people are not happy with me, but we're doing the best we can to show the world what's happening on the ground inside Gaza. And we've taken people to see the Hamas infrastructure in Shifa, which the New York Times said, no such thing, there's no tunnel. We had to show them the tunnel. Even now, recently in Khan Yunis, a tunnel going under a cemetery, all the way across a mosque. That's how cynical this enemy is. And of course, we had a dilemma with doing that movie, the 47-minute movie, which Mr. Chen and I talked about a lot. It's not something that we do as a Jewish nation, of showing that carnage, but we had to do it. We had to do it.
What did you think is the importance of the international media in this war, in the October 7 war?
Well, you know, the foreign media are acting a major role in this battle, and therefore it's very important that they will get the Israeli side as well, and not just covering what's going on in Gaza. Because, you know, 3 months after the massacre that Hamas started this war, some of the foreign media, not all of them, some of them, forgot who started this war, who started with this massacre, with women, with children, with kidnapping civilians that nothing done, no harms they have done before. And therefore, 3 months later, we want to remind them who is the enemies that what we are doing, with whom we are dealing with this battle. And you know, at the moment, we still have 136 hostages still in the Gaza, in the tunnels of Gaza. And therefore, this meeting was very important that they will get to know the families, get to know the stories, and hopefully screen them on their own media outlet to make sure that they won't forget the stories.
The way we handle things, I guess, personally, is we pray. We pray in the morning. We usually pray for the IDF soldiers, for the hostages, their families, for the innocents in Gaza, and dealing with the issues, and like watching the raw footage from October 7th. I don't think we get annoyed by it, but we take things from it. And personally, what happened to me when I first watched it on the way home back to Jerusalem was I just felt something in my heart. It said, honor them. honor the men and the women, the children that died that day so horrifically, so wrongly, and so that we could, in our reporting, help support the people, the family members that are here, the hostages. And I think that if there's anything that helps us through this personally, to go through the kind of reporting that we have to do as a CBN News staff, is to pray, because we are fighting a battle of good and evil.
And so there are three things we try to remind the media about all the time. First of all, the atrocities of October 7th. It shocks me sometimes. I go on TV, and the first 10 minutes where I'm waiting to go on air, no one will mention October 7th. It's not that the atrocities gave us legitimacy for a war we wanted. It is the reason we are in this war, because it was the opening act of war. The second is to talk about the hostages, non-stop. We cannot let the world forget about them or abandon them there. And the third is to talk about the way that Hamas has brought ruin and misery on the people of Gaza.
The book of Isaiah says, set the captives free. So all around the world, believers can be praying and fasting and pleading with the creator of the universe to set these captives free out of the book of Isaiah, chapter 61, set the captives free.
And so this is, I think, maybe the most important part. I think the most important part, if you'll allow me, is to have this conversation now with hostage families as well as those who, a father whose son has given his life in this war.
But first I want to ask the audience, do you know where is your son now? Do you know where is your daughter now? Do you know if they are eating? Do you know if it's cold? I didn't speak, me or my wife or my family, with Omer more than 150 days. So I guess you can imagine what is the feeling of parents that he didn't speak with his son more than 150 days. And not only speaking, not knowing, like in the dark.
My family, unfortunately, has become maybe the most famous hostage from October 7th. Shiri's horrible picture been taken with the boys was one of the first picture published, I think. It was published about 2 hours after my brother sent me the last text. I was texting him while he was in the safe room. He told me they were inside with the kids. They were trying to keep them quiet, which was a hard thing to do because it was a 4 years old and a baby. He told me he can hear gunshots and screaming in Arabic, and he was terrified. For 3 days we didn't know what happened to my brother. And on the 10th of October, which was his birthday, a picture of him popped in an Arab news site. We saw that he was taken as well, injured in his head. Up till now, we know nothing about Shiri and the boys, apart from what Hamas published of them being killed from an Israeli bombing. It was published almost, I think, two months ago now, at the last day of the deal. And up till now, we don't know anything about their faith.
Our news organization, we represent a lot of the evangelical Christian believers in the world that love Israel, that stand with Israel. What would you want to tell to them at this time?
The American people was extremely supporting, and I met with senators in California State and in the City Hall of Beverly Hills, and with a lot of people and famous people and influencers. And I would like to say, first of all, thank you for the great support, which I had. And I want to stress the importance of keep doing that. Just get up every morning and imagine that your child was taken hostages, because I'm just like you. I'm a Western man from a democratic country. but unfortunately this situation was forced on us. So each day when you get up, you need to think, what if it was my child? So you're a reporter and the other one is influencer, but each one of us has the ability to contribute his little part in order to bring to their release.
אני חושב שזה חשוב שהתקשורת הנוצרית ובמיוחד התקשורת המשיחית תתעניין במה שקורה בעם ישראל. זה צריך להיות משהו טבעי לגמרי. בגלל זה חשוב שקורה אירוע כזה, שאנשים באים לשמוע, לראות מה קורה ולהתעניין ולהעביר את זה הלאה. כי המאמינים בעולם מאוד מאוד חשוב, התפילות שלהם בשביל עם ישראל. זה משהו מאוד מאוד חשוב.
Isaiah 61, set the captives free. I call all of you to pray with me to get them home back safely as soon as possible.
We just finished the special media event here at the Friends of Zion Museum. It was a very moving evening as we heard testimonies from families of the hostages. We also had a time of prayer together, a very unusual event with Israeli government officials, foreign media, and the families together praying for Israel, praying for the hostages. We're glad to share this evening with you. Jamie Hancock here from All Israel News.